Good evening, folks. Guess what I've got with you tonight? Yes, it's another cheapo AliExpress electronics project kit, and it is indeed another flashing LED heart project kit. Now, I think I didn't actually mean to buy this. I just put it in my basket and checked out on a load of items and not realising I'd still left it in. So yeah, I didn't intend on doing another one of these kits, but I suppose it's going to be quite interesting because this is advertised as a blue and green flashing LED musical heart kit. So yeah, we'll have a look at it. Now, just having looked at the PCB there through the packaging, we can see, I think this is the first time I've had to say that it's not the best of quality. It's just one of these pressed sort of paper PCBs. With the basic brown and a basic silk screen. It doesn't even give us the component details on there, and there was no instructions supplied, as you can see. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's functional. It should do the job. Also got a little piezo sounder, couple of electrolytic caps, 16 volt. Yeah, both 16 volt, 100 millifarad. Get 4 resistors, orange, violet, red, violet, orange, which is 27k, and brown, black, which is 10 ohms. Yeah, 10 ohms. In fact, it does actually say 10 ohms on the silk screen, as you can see there. 10 and 10, so presumably that's where R2 and R3s are 27Ks. We get a lot of dual colour LEDs, and so we see what we've got here. A good old friend, the 8050 transistors, 3 of those, and this package here, which you might struggle to see. I'll try using my lens here. Yeah, XC64 DSI. Now, this is presumably what generates the sound. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a beep. When it's said musical, one would assume it's musical, but this is a badly worded Chinese kit, so it might not be. If I actually show you the listing, if I just get this up. There we go, we can see the picture there. And what I have noticed, just looking at that there, is the LEDs are in a different package. These are sort of rectangular with a little sort of light pipe on them, a light guide. And these are more your standard sort of bi-colour LEDs. Yeah, you can see, just comparing them there, they are a slightly different package. But this was £1.72, and like I say, DIY kit, music flash light kit, 18 LEDs, heart shaped, red, green, dual colour, music flashing, birthday gift, electronic fun kit. How many times can you say kit in the description? But yeah, £1.72. It's a bit more expensive than the normal cheapo kits, like I've shown you before. Okay, folks. Yeah, so we'll have a look at how it's going to go together. And what I'm initially noticing here is, if I put this in here, this LED in, you should hopefully be able to see that on the left hand side here is the flat edge. However, the silk screen shows the flat edge on the side. Now, you would normally expect in an LED for the flat edge to be on the cathode side of the cathode leg, if you like, but this is sort of flat across all 3 leads, if that makes sense. So let's try and work out if it's common anode or cathode. So we've got a power here, negative on the left, positive on the right, which means that positive is now on the left. If we follow that up there into the middle, yep, so we can see that the anode is common on here. And if I just, where's my battery, LED tester, just a 2032. So positive in the middle. So we've got red one side and green on the other. Oh, blue on the other. They must have run out of red and green ones. So another way we can not tell the polarity, but If I just put that on my hand there, it's probably a bit easier. So we know it's a common anode, so it doesn't matter which way these LEDs go round, because they'll obviously give a different colour at some point, you know. But we want them all to be the same. In this case, flashing all red and then flashing all blue. So we've got anodes in the middle, common, and as you can see, there's a longer lead and a shorter lead on the outside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, where the cathode would normally be, so the shorter lead would normally be the flat side, I will just, I'll put the shorter lead to the flat on the silk screen. So what I'll do, guys, is I will go away, I will put all these components in. It's not a soldering tutorial. If you want to see a bit of explanation of soldering, have a look at some of my earlier kit videos, and you can see me talking through soldering and that process if you're new to electronics hobbying. And yeah, so I'll come back and we'll put in the last sort of components and then power it up and see what it sounds like. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in a minute. Hi folks, welcome back. Right, just a few more components to go in now, just the caps and the sound chip and the speaker. So yeah, we'll just carry on with those. So just make sure I've got this the right way around. Yeah, so the shaded A is going to be on the negative side, so just pop that in there like so. And the other one like so. Now I must say this board has been particularly difficult to solder. I've had to turn my iron up fairly high, currently at 325 just now. Just the solder just wasn't taken to the board at my usual soldering temperature. Now I don't know if that's because the board isn't a plated board or a tinned board. It is just on to bare copper, but in my experience that doesn't really tend to make such a big difference. So it is possible that the components are a little bit dirty or something like that, but yeah, it's not quite as easy as previous kits we've done. Right, we'll put in our IC as this is described on the board. The other, the 3 transistors were marked as 8050s, but this is marked as IC, so we'll see what that IC actually does when we put the power in. Okay. That's that, and finally our speaker or piezo sounder, whatever you want to call it. So it's got a positive marking on there, as you could probably just make out, hopefully, yeah, and that just goes to the uppermost. And as you can probably see on the board here, there's several, 2 holes drilled for the positive, just for different sort of pitches. By pitch I don't mean the pitch of the speaker, I mean the pitch of the spacing, if you like, because obviously it'll depend what they've got in stock at the time. So the easiest thing I do with these is just bend them over very slightly, and that will keep it in place. You don't want to put too much pressure on that because it is onto a piezo crystal, and if you flex that too much, it could potentially irreparably damage the sounder or speaker. Yeah, you can probably see how difficult this is to solder on. It's really not a nice job. But that is it, complete. So all that remains now is to insert a couple of our batteries. I like to use these Duracell Industrial. You can get them on eBay very cheap, and they're actually really good professional alkaline batteries. Okay, so here we go. What sort of music will it make? Happy birthday. Okay, now clearly we've got an issue though. again, folks. That was just quite a convenient cut point. I'm recording this in 60 frames per second this evening, and I didn't realise it's got a 10-minute maximum recording time. So that's why it cut bang on 10 minutes. But yeah, it did give me an opportunity to fault find. So as you can see, it was L2 that was flashing in that sort of first part of the video there. And if I look over, and if I tap this and get it to focus, hopefully, you will see, if I use my probe here, you will see there is a cut in the trace. And that was just basically, as you can see, there's a little scrape here as well. I actually branched that when I was soldering it, and I just scraped the tip of the soldering iron over it. And this PCB, the tracks are so thin that by me doing that, it's just managed to go straight through the track. Well, that looks a bit grainy when it's zoomed in on 60 frames per second. Never mind. So I've got my meter on continuity, and if I just show you that, so this is the, you know, good. So we'll go from our positive down here, and we can see that that doesn't work either. Hold on. Yeah, you can see that the positive there is actually working, but if I move to this one, it's not. So yeah, we've got a break between here and here. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. I'll show you the easy way. We could put a bit of bodge wire on there. There's many things we could do, but what I'm going to use is just a little piece of cut off lead. And all we'll do is we'll get our iron. Now I can't, what have I done with my solder? Here we go. So we'll just put a little dab extra solder on the next LED. We'll take a bit of cut off, just tack that on there like so. Get our snips, measure up, snip it, bend it down slightly. You don't want to put too much pressure on that, and then just solder it onto the other side there. So now, if we use our probes again, probe down onto the positive. So we've got there, got there, got there, got there. So yeah, we've got continuity on the common anode track. So hopefully now, if I put this in, we should get a really happy, flashing, happy birthday musical heart kit. There we go. Now, these top two don't look like they're flashing blue now. So there's either a fault with these two LEDs, unlikely, or there could be another cut in the track somewhere. So what we'll do is we'll just check continuity on that as well. I suppose this is the perils of buying cheap kits. Sometimes you've got to probe them out. So it's on the same side, so there's every possibility that when I cut that track, I've cut this one as well. So if we go to down here where we know they were good, okay, so now we've got a break in between here and here. We might have a couple of breaks actually. This is really unusual. Okay, so we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll just bodge some cut-offs onto that. It's not going to be pretty, but it should do the job. So, it was this one, wasn't it? Oh. Alright, let's try that before we go any further. Right, okay, so trim that end off and hopefully it'll be third time lucky. There we go. Flashing happily away. Right, okay dokes guys, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. I suppose it gave us a little opportunity to do some fault finding. Like I say, that's not a pretty repair, but as you can see it's functional at what, and that's all you need sometimes, just on these cheap kits, because you know, ultimately if you're going to be giving this to somebody, not that you probably would, I certainly wouldn't, but you would probably mount it in something, or you know, do something different with it. Okay, those guys, well, if you enjoyed that, like and subscribe as always, and I shall see you soon for another video. Until that time, take care of yourselves, all the best.